Hey guys, it is me Romas and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. This, I believe, is episode 43. In the last episode, it was a really nice and emotional episode, I guess. Well, I wouldn't say it was emotional for me, it was more emotional for the two characters, because they went for that whole thing where they've, I suppose it was more our character Hisao who opened up, but I think it helped it will help Hanako as well, because it's showing her that she isn't the only one. She is not the only one that has scars and has problems, because I feel like maybe that was a problem. Maybe she felt alone like that. But we showed her our scar, and she reacted well to it, because there was the chance that she was just going to be like, nope, and just kicked us out and never got angry at us and never spoke to us again, but I'm glad she didn't. But anyway, let's get into it. We seem to be in the city now. I'm just thinking back to it and I'm like, oh, what a lovely moment, but no, I'm getting sidetracked. The heat of the summertime sun beats down on my sweating brow. Dabbing with a handkerchief doesn't seem to help in making me feel any more comfortable. That's why I don't wear shirts or anything in the summer. In the summertime, I wear just shorts and maybe a tank top, a hat, some sunglasses, and maybe a pair of flip-flops, just because it's too hot. It's just too hot for in normal times I like to wear black skinny jeans, black Converse, and my shirt, but it's just too hot for that. Giving up on the idea of getting more done today, I stop and lean against one of the overpass fences, resting my back on the ground. My bag. Why am I saying back? I meant, because I thought he was going to say leaning my back against the thing, but then I was like, wait, he's leaning over, so it can't be that. The stores in the town below Yamaku are well stocked and offer enough variety for me to get by, but at least an occasional shopping trip to the city is something that can't really be avoided. I've been here a few times now. The city's layout is getting more familiar and the nostalgia from the atmosphere is beginning to wear off. I realise that I've begun to wheeze and I sound like an old man that's overexerted himself, and having to connect that to the fact that I'm the source is a bit disturbing. I put a hand on my chest and concentrate for a bit to make sure I haven't gone far enough to cause any further problems. Thankfully, my heart is acting normal. There's no dull pain and the beating is regular, albeit fast-paced. As I recover from overdoing things in this kind of heat, I hate my body. It's frustrating to be held back, and even more to be held back by fear of my life being ended when doing something as simple as walking around the city for a while. As I ponder on my own health, I feel my pocket vibrating. By the time my phone began to ring, my hand is already fishing for it. A glance at the screen shows a caller number I don't recognise. Strange. Who the hell's going to be calling us? Shrugging, I press the button to answer the phone and bring the phone to my ear. Hello, Hisao Nakai speaking. The sound of a couple short breaths can be heard, but no actual speech is forthcoming. That's a little creepy in my mind. If I picked up the phone and it was just someone breathing. Hello? Oh, it's Hanako! Hisao? It's Hanako. Her voice is really easy to place, even if I've never heard it over a phone before. Hanako? Sorry, I wasn't expecting you to call. What's up? If you're not busy, I was wondering if you would like to meet up? Yes, I mean... She sounds really wound up about this. I can hear muffled voices in the background, and it's about time for afternoon tea, so I guess she'll want me to meet her at the Shanghai or something. That sounds fine. Are you at the Shanghai? I'm in the... No way. I'm in the city. That is impressive as shit. That is impressive because this is Hanako we're talking about. Who, like, I don't think she's, like, I don't know if she's ever come to the city on her own. But she's come to the city on her own. Without Lily. Without me. Okay, maybe we might be going to meet her. I'm not sure. It depends what Hisao says. But right now, that is impressive. Hanako's here? Alone? That's a surprise. It's a little wonder she's like this, if she's surrounded by people entirely by herself. Yeah, but it's really impressive. Don't forget that, Hisao. Well done to her. That works out well. I'm just wandering around there now. Where are you? Hanako manages to stammer out the street name address and some basic directions to where she is. Luckily it's not too far, so I agree to see her soon before hanging up. Oh, nice. So I guess we're spending some time with Hanako in the city. I look up to the sky. The summer heat is beating down. This is the first time Hanako's asked for us to do something together, beyond a simple board game, and the first time, at least since I've known her, that she's come to the city by herself. Maybe this means that Lily was right. By the time I manage to stagger up to the cafe where Hanako is, I've started to wheeze again. I'm sweating so much that I feel like a melting popsicle, and I can barely hold the bag in my hand. I need to sit down. Badly. The tables outside are all occupied by busily chatting couples and girls gossiping between themselves. The contrast between the different age groups and the fashions of the people here and the people from the town near Yamaku is striking. I scan over the people sitting at the tables, but I can't see Hanako. She did say she was sitting outside, so I must just be missing her. Not difficult given how small she is, how small she usually tries to make her presence. I look around again, more slowly this time, taking particular care to see if I can find Hanako's hat. It's pretty distinctive, and I'd be surprised if she wasn't wearing it. There she is. Sure enough, her head is kept low, and the table she's sitting at is right beside the building in an inconspicuous corner. I walk up to where she is and make sure that I have her attention before I sit, lest I give her a scare. She notices me and gives me a small wave as I arrive at her table. Are you feeling okay? I try my best to laugh it off, but doing so makes me seem more out of breath. Oh no, it just makes me more out of breath. Not very fit these days. Don't mind me. Hanako nods, but still looks a bit put off. Now that I get a good look at her face, something about her seems a bit different. I'm not sure if it's my eyes playing tricks on me, but she looks kind of nice. Her eye moves upwards to look at me before quickly flicking down again. I begin to think she's going to be rather quiet. This is going to be a rather quiet meeting, but a waitress thankfully arrives and sets down a cup of tea in front of Hanako. Hanako almost automatically turns slightly away and lowers the side of her head. It's an amazingly practiced motion, and she does a good job of it, of its intended purpose. It does a good job of its intended person, sorry. Hiding her scars from someone who's leaning in close. Her right arm is still laying on the table though, with the scarring on the back of her hand quite visible. It catches the waitress's eyes, and I quickly move to distract her. Excuse me, may I place an order? The waitress nods and gives me a couple of seconds to look at the menu. Could I have a mango smoothie, please? Ugh, mangoes. Ugh, I just don't like fruit. Ugh, I'd have chocolate. Something chocolatey. Then again, in the heat, chocolate is just, oh, it's too sweet. Like, you want ice cream, so a smoothie is a good idea, I think, actually. She gives a nod before almost enthusiastically bouncing inside. Everything is so different in the city, in more ways than one. Hanako looks back up towards me and adjusts her hat a little. If she noticed the waitress staring at her scars, she doesn't show it. Not coffee? I think I'd die from this heat if I had something like coffee right now. Yeah, you don't want to have like coffee in the heat. That's just... Whew. Resting my head in my hand, I look at my quiet companion. She seems taken aback. A very unexpected reaction to my lame joke. An unwelcome emotion bubbles up inside me as I realize her reason why. Unlike most in Yamaku, indeed unlike anyone there that I'm aware of, my condition goes beyond limiting the activity I'm gonna reread that whole thing because I got my brain read it so fast, but my mouth cannot keep up, and that happens often. And I hope you guys don't get pissed off with it, but it does happen often. Unlike most in Yamaku, indeed, unlike anyone there that I'm aware of, my condition goes beyond limiting the activities I can do, or to be more precise, breaching those limits could have much more grave consequences. There we go, we got through it. Thankfully, it's something that very rarely come up since I entered Yamaku. I thought it was so rare that Hanako and Lily might not have think of it at all. It turns out that I was wrong. Hanako silently drinks her tea while I wait for my drink, confirming that it's the right temperature with a small sip before she begins in earnest. I feel guilty for being the cause of the uncomfortable silence, since in the past I've been kind of hard on Hanako for those. Eventually the same waitress as before bounces out, handing me a drink. I gather change from my pocket and drop it into her waiting hand before she goes off to attend another customer, my eyes lingering on her as she walks away. Do you think that she looks pretty? Hanako is following my gaze, her eyes taking in the waitress that served us. I can feel my blood slowly going to my cheeks as I rest my smoothie back on the table. Nah, can't really say that I'm really into that look. She just looked a lot like an old friend I knew before my heart attack. Did you have many friends? I had a few at my previous school, though I wouldn't say a lot. The four of us just hung around together after school and stuff. Do you still talk to them? I shake my head. No, we gradually lost contact while I was stuck in the hospital. You're not saddened by that, or angry? Hanako looks genuinely surprised. I guess it's the right reaction. Well, life did move on for them while I was stuck in the ward. I was pretty sore about it at the time, but now it's just a bunch of nice memories. Besides, once I came to Yamaku, I found new friends as well. That's quite a whitewash for what my feelings were back then. I went through some dark times during my stay at the hospital, and I'm really glad that Hanako and Lily were there around to help me out after I left it. Hanako blushes as we both get down to enjoying our drinks. She seems to have calmed down since I arrived, and I've started to feel a little better now that I've had the chance to rest a bit, so this is getting to be a nice outing already. Even if she is calmer than before though, she's still fidgeting a bit. She runs her hand down one of her bangs as I try to think of something to say. That's right, I was going to ask. Hanako tilts her head quizzically. I didn't know you had a mobile phone. How'd you get my number? Lily gave it to me. I should have guessed. You know, you could have just asked me. I'd have given it to you. Want to exchange email addresses? Oh yeah, because I think, if I remember rightly, what I heard is Japan doesn't really text as such. They send emails or whatever. It works more like that. Hanako nods, setting down her drink and fishing out her phone from her pocket as I do the same. It's surprising. It's surprisingly the same model as mine. Pink though. Holy shit, these phones are old. They're flip phones that are like, damn. Nice phone. She looks to me with a curious expression before noticing my phone and giggling. It's one of the very few times I've seen Hanako let her guard down enough to do such a thing. Aww.
I didn't pick it out myself, though.
Oh?
It was a present from Lily. I never really needed a phone, and I couldn't afford one. She bought me one for Christmas, though, saying that we could use it to keep in touch.
Aw, that was so lovely of Lily. What a great friend she is. They see each other basically every day, anyway, both in and out of school. Then again, Lily does have her class representative duties, and other friends that she talks with. It'd probably help for situations like this too, when she's gone far away for a while. Lily is a very special person to you, isn't she?
She is. I love her very much.
Aww. Hanako looks down and smiles as she thinks of her. None of my friendships were as deep as theirs, and I have to admit to myself that I'm a little jealous of their relationship. We tell each other our email addresses and then thumb them into our respective phones, and I get Hanako's number from earlier and put it into my contact list.
Done. That makes 3 now.
3?
Lily, Akira, and you.
Ah, Akira. She's an interesting person, isn't she?
She is. She's also really nice, though her suit makes her look a bit cool.
I'm a little surprised you know each other well, what with her job taking up so much of her time. Hanako looks down a little and takes another sip of her drink. I wasn't looking intently at her face. I'd missed the small smile perched on it. I guess when she knows so few people, those she knows must mean a lot to her.
How many do you have?
Me? About 9 or 10. I hesitate to go into them for fear of rubbing in the fact that Hanako doesn't have parents, or apparently even close relatives. 2 of those are Shizune and Misha, 2 of which is another can of worms. Wait, I have Misha and Shizune's numbers? I don't remember getting their numbers. Oh well. I imagine that Lily would have more than both of us put together though, probably. Hanako gives a childish giggle and I can't help smiling. It's a good feeling that she's gotten this comfortable around me at times like this. I feel like I'm getting close to talking to her true self. Do you mind if I ask something that I've been wondering? Hanako shakes her head and she takes a last sip of her tea, finishing it off. You don't seem very jealous of Lily, having lots of friends. Don't you want to make some friends of yourself? Or get to know some of hers?
I'm not jealous. I don't like people, so I don't mind not having many friends.
That's really not the answer I was expecting. She doesn't look fearful or sad as she says this, but rather quite serious. Hanako rubs her arm awkwardly, having taken my quietness as a reason to continue. I'm not really sure what I should say, so I end up simply giving her my attention in silence.
In middle school, I got bullied. A lot. I was called names, and I got excluded from work groups and sports teams. There were worse things too.
Oh, that's so sad. I can actually imagine Hanako being a little girl and getting picked on for having scars, and oh, that's actually so sad. Oh. And that's what made you not like other people? She shakes her head.
That was elementary school.
I feel bad for bringing this up now. Adults have enough problems to dealing with Hanako's scarring. children would all be the worst. Yeah, children are worse because it's the one thing I don't like about kids is they don't really have that filter. They don't know what's appropriate and what's not appropriate, and they'll say things without thinking about it. Sometimes it can be funny as fuck. It can be really funny, fucking funny. Like, but other times it can cause so many problems. But, you know, like this, for instance. I had assumed that the way she tried to make her presence not felt was just to avoid people staring at her, or because she was afraid of them. Certainly not because she genuinely didn't want to interact with them in the first place as well. I noticed the condensation from my neglected smoothie forming a little puddle around the bottom of the cup, so I take the opportunity to finish it off. As I drink, she begins to fiddle with her phone. It looks like she's remembered the people around her again and begun to tense up. It isn't exactly a cheap phone. I had to save up for quite a while to afford one when I got mine. If Lily went to a private school, she probably wouldn't have too much trouble getting one for a present though. Watching her fiddle with it gives me an idea. Hey Hanako, wait for me, I'll be right back. I put the now empty cup down, slip my phone into my pocket, and begin to move off, carefully stepping around the bag I'd placed beside my feet. Thankfully, sitting around while talking to Hanako has helped me feel a whole lot better than before.
Wait, where are you going?
Just stay here, I'll be back in a bit. As much as I'd like to have jogged back, I know full well that I couldn't. I ended up walking back to the cafe, a little blue bag in my right hand. Hanako notices me quickly looking about as confused as she did when I left. I deposit the diminutive bag, the very small bag in front of her basically, and sit back down.
Is this...
It's for you. You can open it.
But...
Go on. She looks very unsure about it, but eventually gives in. Slowly opens the bag and picks its contents out. A silver chain phone strap dangles from her fingers, and ending in a delicate flower. It isn't exactly a masterwork of jewellery, but it's about as much as I could afford. Hanako's eyes light up when she looks at it. It's the kind of reaction I was hoping for. The summer sunlight glints off the silver as it twists to and fro a little. It's not too oh god, I can't say that word. It's not amazing, but it still looks a little charming. I think it suits her well. Hanako lowers the phone strap to the table and looks to me once more.
But it's not Christmas or my birthday.
Hang on, she just mentioned her birthday. And she didn't... Wow, she's really gotten better then. She's like doing really well. Wow, shit. That's impressive. I don't know if it was just me that just noticed that, but like the fact that she could say it, even. It's fine, don't worry about it. I just thought it might be nice to have something to decorate your phone with.
I don't have anything to give you.
I told you, it's fine. Friends can do things for each other like this sometimes, right?
Friends.
Hanako lowers her face so much that I can't see her expression. She eventually nods before taking her phone, fiddling with the strap to attach it properly. Oh, now we have a nice little flower on it. She looks to me and smiles as she holds up her phone, now adorned with a little flower.
Thank you, Isao.
Her smile proves infectious. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice a couple getting up and leaving. That reminds me of the bus back to town before Yamaku will be coming soon. I guess I'd better be going if I want to catch the next bus back to town. You coming as well?
Yes.
She hastily nods before carefully putting her phone back into her pocket and getting out of her chair. I do the same and pick up the bag I'd left beside me on the way out. We walk side by side as we make our way to the bus station, exchanging no words between us. Hanako's gaze is firmly locked ahead of her, though she looks very happy with herself. I'm not sure what I should say to her, but I'm also not sure that I need to say anything. The fact that Hanako is happy, and happy because of me, is enough to make the load on my arm feel light as a feather. Okay guys, that is going to be the end of the episode. It was a nice little episode, but I feel like the episodes are getting more with Hanako, getting nicer and more closer and closer as time goes by. It's really nice. But anyway guys, I shall see you in the next episode.